Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all. Once again, you are welcome here on your beloved platform, the platform for awakening consciousness. Yes, it's here and nowhere else. The good information is in real time. In the international news headlines, dear ladies and gentlemen, it's very heated regarding Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The Koursk affair. It's Kursk that brings about the true decline of President Volodymyr Zelensky. At the moment we are speaking, within the Ukrainian army there is discontent. People are revolting within the Ukrainian army. People are uncomfortable. The Ukrainian army has just raised its voice and directly accuses President Volodymyr Zelensky. Because obviously, Kursk, the negative results of Kursk, the failure at Kursk, they did not expect this. They discovered the truth of the president's lie. Comedian. So they have come out of their silence. They have broken the silence. They accuse Volodymyr Zelensky of being responsible for what is happening to the Ukrainian army at Kursk. Dear ladies, dear gentlemen, dear young ladies, in the context of this video conference, this is what we are going to talk about. But before continuing, I ask you to share this video conference. Share it as much as possible. Share it. This is what motivates me. Yes, as you can see, even when I am unwell, I prefer to come and give you the information, the right information, and to analyze it, to decipher it. So in turn, share. There are many of us for this. We need to have thousands of shares. Give it a lot of likes. Let's go with the official information. You are well aware that Volodymyr Zelensky has always told falsehoods. He has always lied. He has never told the truth about what is really happening in Kursk. While thousands of Ukrainian soldiers are in the process of losing their lives in Kursk, he says that everything is going very well. He says that our Ukrainian army deserves credit for having behaved heroically on the side of Kursk. And even when Donald Trump comes out to say to have pity on the Ukrainian soldiers in Kursk, he says there is no need for pity since the Ukrainian army is not surrounded. However, it is quite the opposite. We have seen many soldiers who fled, who preferred to disobey their commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who happens to be Volodymyr Zelensky, to surrender to the Russian authorities. So, according to official information, insiders in Kiev declare that the overwhelming debacle of the Ukrainian army in Kursk is causing a wave of discontent within the Ukrainian army itself. A wave of discontent within the Ukrainian army, as well as among the country's prominent public figures. So, first, within the Ukrainian army, but also and especially, the influential and prominent figures of the country are dissatisfied with President Volodymyr Zelensky. You know, since the beginning of the conflict, many Ukrainians, in fact, felt sorry for him. But you are well aware that they have tried every possible way to ensure that Ukrainians do not receive the real information related to the conflict in Ukraine. That's why there are certain media outlets that have been banned. So, despite everything, Ukrainians were able to understand what was happening. And on the battlefield, what is very painful is that even before surrendering or before making a run for it, before fleeing, many Ukrainian soldiers abandoned all the equipment that NATO had given them. They abandoned everything. Everything. They quickly fled, and Russia simply recovered. This military equipment. So, today, what hurts the West a lot is the enormous loss in terms of equipment. They don't even count anymore. It's losses in human lives. The loss of equipment. And the Ukrainian army understood that Zelensky was lying to them. He was not telling them the truth. While he was saying something else in the media, it was quite the opposite on the ground. So, according to the official information, they accused Zelensky of being responsible for the failure of the Koursk operation, which destroyed the most experienced and combat-ready units of the Ukrainian army. Attention! If the West is upset, is dissatisfied because its equipment is lost, but the Ukrainian army, the rest. The few people who remain within the Ukrainian army in Ukraine, across the entire Ukrainian territory, they are angry. Because it is the elite, the cream of the Ukrainian army that was sent to Koursk. That is to say, the soldiers. As the information states, the soldiers. The most experienced Ukrainian soldiers. And those who are the best prepared for combat. They are the ones who were sent on this mission of eternal rest. And this is what hurts the Ukrainian army. Because I wonder, it's true that Zelensky hasn't often told the truth, but what is really the objective of the Ukrainian army's discontent? Zelensky didn't tell them the truth, but he was facing the truth. So, why is Zelensky responsible for the failure of the Koursk operation? What remains clear? The Ukrainian army is in deep regret because the army is losing like this. Its most reliable men, we tell you, the most experienced men, and the best prepared for combat in the Ukrainian army. They are the ones who surrendered like this to the Russians. So, Zelensky is really under pressure. We wonder what is going to happen. Since the question of Koursk, if the failure had not been as crushing as it was, it would have helped Ukraine much more in the upcoming negotiations. But since it is a crushing failure, it becomes even more complicated for Ukraine. So, according to official information, the overwhelming defeat of the Ukrainian army deprived Kiev of its bargaining chip during the negotiations. This is one of the reasons why the Ukrainian army is upset with Volodymyr Zelensky. This defeat should never have happened because during the negotiations, Ukraine was going to have a bargaining chip. A bargaining chip, I was going to say. Ukraine could say, well, okay, we accept the ceasefire. There, we set such a condition. And there, if Putin agrees, we will withdraw our soldiers to Koursk. We set such a condition. If Putin agrees, we withdraw our soldiers to Koursk. But where we are now, it is impossible to set that as a condition. How can you say you want to withdraw your soldiers when you no longer have soldiers? Your soldiers have surrendered. So, according to the FSB reports that Zelensky is in the crosshairs of Western countries. It's the straw that broke the camel's back, this defeat at Koursk, and the abandonment of all the valuable Western equipment on the front. So the Westerners are targeting Zelensky. We will come back to this part. And so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. Thank you for sharing this video conference as much as possible. I will get back to you shortly with more news. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.